I'm talking about 12 rare mutations that give rise to superpowers in just a few minutes. But before we begin, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell. Let's go. 1. Golden blood. There are people who do not have a blood type. They were first discovered among the Aboriginal people of Australia, but they can also be found among other populations. Currently, there are just under 50 of them worldwide. Their superpower is that they can become universal donors. Their blood is compatible with anyone on our planet. However, this is not very healthy for them. If they ever need a transfusion, only golden blood will do. 2. Incredibly low cholesterol. This is a rather complicated medical story, but in short, there are people who are born with abnormally low levels of cholesterol in their blood. They have been discovered among African Americans who actually have serious problems with cholesterol. Cholesterol plaques in the vessels are one of the main causes of heart attacks and strokes. Typically, blood cholesterol levels are linked to diet. When you eat too much fatty and fried food, it increases. However, some African Americans, despite having a completely unhealthy diet, manage to have cholesterol levels that outperform even the most devoted vegans. They have no heart problems and are generally healthy. It turned out that this is connected to a rare mutation in the PCSK9 gene. It promotes the active breakdown of cholesterol. It seems like humans have begun to adapt even to a fast food diet. 3. Ability to see 100 million shades. This mutation is the opposite of color blindness. An ordinary person has 3 types of cones, light-sensitive cells, in their eyes. They differentiate between the violet-blue, green-yellow, and yellow-red spectra. Color-blind individuals, who are statistically more often males, usually only have 2 types of cones, meaning they may miss half of the colors in a rainbow. People with tetrachromacy, mostly women, have 4 types of cones. Some of them can indeed distinguish shades that appear identical to regular people. This area has been minimally studied, but scientists believe that up to 12% of women on our planet may be tetrachromates. So if a girl shows you 2 identical lipsticks and asks which one is better, it doesn't necessarily mean she's lost her mind. 4. 2 rows of eyelashes. Again, we're reviewing a female superpower. For example, Elizabeth Taylor had this trait. This mutation is manifested in appearance. Some people on our planet have eyelashes that grow in 2 rows. It looks like particularly long and thick, almost unnatural eyelashes. However, everything is completely natural and possibly even not made up. 5. Super taster. This ability is not so rare. Up to a quarter of the population of our planet possesses it to some extent. It manifests as an especially acute sense of taste and is linked to more sensitive taste receptors. Such individuals usually do not like overly spicy, sour, or bitter foods, which provoke an almost painful reaction. However, they can distinguish finer nuances in various gourmet dishes. 6. Unbreakable bones. Now that's a real superpower, no joke. So far, scientists have only discovered a few people who possess this ability, and it was by chance. The first was an American from Connecticut who was in a serious car accident but didn't break a single bone, not even a small one. It turned out that he has a rare mutation that makes his bones 8 times stronger than those of ordinary people. Scientists examined his family, and it turned out that half of them also have this mutation. Talk about luck. Sounds familiar? This is just like the plot of M. Night Shyamalan's movie Unbreakable with Bruce Willis. 7. Absence of wisdom teeth. Imagine that 20% of the human population does not have wisdom teeth. These people do not suffer in adulthood from having something cutting in there, and in general, they save a considerable amount on dental care. You know what's most interesting? About 100% of indigenous Mexicans have this trait. On the other hand, Tasmanian Aborigines always have wisdom teeth. For the rest of the world's population, it's all a matter of luck. 8. Grasping muscle. Place your hand on the table with your palm facing up and touch your pinky with your thumb. Did a bump appear on your wrist that wasn't there before? If so, congratulations. You have a superpower, a supplementary muscle inherited from our primate ancestors. Scientists believe it helps us grasp branches better, so feel free to attempt some avatar-like stunts on the nearest tree. However, this is not a new mutation, but rather an atavism. Still, it's nice to have. 9. Ability to get by without sleep. Another superpower that supposedly belonged to Margaret Thatcher and Winston Churchill. There are people who need only 4 to 5 hours of sleep to feel fully rested. Scientists believe this is related to a mutation in a gene that regulates circadian rhythms. These superheroes not only sleep less, but also cope better with complete sleep deprivation. Seems like we want to have children with them. 10. Super muscles. In animals, and sometimes in humans, there is a mutation that leads to uncontrolled muscle growth without any training, while fat hardly accumulates. It blocks myostatin, a protein that inhibits muscle growth. As a result, animals like Belgian blue cattle or some hunting dogs look like bodybuilders after cutting. Interestingly, they don't have extraordinary strength. In humans, this mutation becomes evident in childhood, when even very young kids have well-developed musculature. You might have even heard of such unique individuals. However, many of them are victims of ambitious training regimens imposed by their parents. But there are also genuine mutants. So far, doctors have just begun to study this feature and are not sure how it affects health. 11. Blood without clots. This superpower was discovered in a closed Amish community in the USA. In this somewhat isolated group of people, a mutation has spread that prevents blood clotting. In light of recent events with the coronavirus, it seems that the Amish really have caught God's attention, as they themselves believe. However, even before the epidemic, the Amish had a surprisingly healthy cardiovascular system and relatively long lifespans. Talk about luck. 12. Breathing at high altitude. This superpower has developed in peoples living in the high Himalayas, such as Tibetans and neighboring ethnic groups. These guys experience absolutely no problems with breathing at high altitudes. They never suffer from altitude sickness. They merrily run along trails, even where an ordinary person from down below can no longer move and sits down with an oxygen tank. People with this mutation often become Sherpas porters for high-altitude climbers. It's astonishing to watch these slender individuals carry heavy loads for tourists, loaded down with specialized gear. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit like to not miss the next videos.